Hello guys, today we will explain about the international trade in Australia in this using this presentation. First, executive summary. There are many trade policies that are implemented by the government of Australia. These policies impact employment, industries, business and enterprise. The presentation gives an overview on positive and negative impacts of trade rules on growth of economy, businesses and industry by using various findings. This analysis helps prepare a forecast for future trade policies. Introduction. Australia has strong trade relations with the rest of the world. Various trade laws are in place to help develop and assist international trade. These regulations protect domestic industries, consumers, and environment from harmful goods. Trade policies help liberalize the market for products and services and also invites investments. During import of goods, one must be aware of rules and regulations, taxes, permits that are applicable on goods that are being imported. Australia is working on various bilateral agreements with India, Indonesia, and European Union. Trade policy. Trade policy is basically a set of rules, regulations, and agreements that help control imports and exports into and out of the country. Trade agreements include documents like NAFTA, that is North American Free Trade Agreement, and CAFTA, that is Central American Free Trade Agreement. There are 11 free trade agreements currently in place with various countries like China, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, Singapore, Thailand, US, Chile, Malaysia, Canada, Mexico, and more bilateral agreements are being negotiated. As per trade policy, there are no special licenses for import and export. However, there are certain restrictions which include absolute prohibition of certain goods, while some goods require written authorization and certain goods don't require permits at all. Australian trade policy has a list of commodity description which contains general duty rates and preferred duty rates and rules and regulations for customs and restricted goods. My partner will group member will be explaining the remaining content. Okay.
Hi, my name is Jitinder Singh, and today I'm going to speak on the topic of trade agreement of Australia. There are different trade agreements of Australia with different countries. First of all, I'm going to speak about Australia and New Zealand Free Trade Agreement. Australia has signed a trade agreement with New Zealand on closer economic relations, and here are some objectives of this trade agreement. To make a strong relationship between Australia and New Zealand, to develop a closer relationship between member states, to expand free trade between Australia and New Zealand, to eliminate barriers between the business of both countries. This includes area in which such agreement applies to both countries. Good transfer in such area means that this is an import and export. The second trade is Australia and United States Free Trade Agreement. Each party should ensure the law, regulations, guidelines, and procedures are governed according to regulations and guidelines of World Trade Organization. Each party should designate some inquiry points to address inquiries related to customer matters. Each party has to publish in advance for any changes in regulation related to customer matters. And the third is Malaysia-Australia Free Trade Agreement. To reduce custom duties that are imposed on trade of goods between both countries. To facilitate trade between both countries, reduction of custom duties. Each party can progressively reduce custom duties on goods according to rules and regulations. There should not be an increment of custom duty by any part. On the request of any party, then such tariff and duty can be reduced according to the law. And the third is agreement between Asian and Australian New Zealand Free Trade Area. This is just to liberalization and facilitate trade goods among parties. This includes the progressive elimination of tariffs to promote and enhance investment opportunities among both if the countries, to establish a cooperative framework to strengthen and diversity and enhance trade, to provide special and different treatment for Asian members to increase economic conditions. There is not any right to reduce custom duties unless provided by the law. And now I'm going to speak on the impact of trade policy on economy. Trade barriers help to reduce the price in domestic market. It is obvious very clear. If there is no trade barriers, it will definitely help in decreasing the domestic market price. To protect domestic business from competition, it is well obvious that if we have some barriers, then we can protect our own business from the competition from another countries. To provide guidelines and rules to conduct the business. To reduce employment, definitely it reduce employment. To facilitate the growth of economy.
Hi, my name is Nojo Sangwan. My student ID is EGU8659. Today I am going to talk about impact of trade policy on employment. As we all know, the trade policy have many impacts on employment, such as trade policy helps to increase competitiveness. Trade policy increase imports. This helps to break global value chain to generate employment. This helps to restore production so that the job returns to be achieved. Trade policy restricts some kind of transaction. This provides help to the domestic business. Now I am going to conclude this assignment. As per the assignment, this can be concluded that the trade policy is the core aspect of the business. Trade and a policy ensures the growth of the business. Trade policy is important for regulations and rules. Trade policy facilitates proceedings of business. Thank you.